Hey guys, welcome to another Unity 5 tutorial today, and this is going to be the part 2 of the save system using the EasySave system that we started in the first part. Now, in the first part we just went along and looked at simple loading and simple saving of basic variables and booleans. Now I'm going to go into something more, it's not necessarily any less important, but we're going to be able to save the player's position and also save what scene you might be in. If you need to load a scene, if you need to load the position that your player was previously at, then we'll be able to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the easy or the simple save script, whatever you might have it called. Okay, so what we did before is we were looking for the manager script that we're looking at, and we were using the EasySave commands to save something from the file that we're looking at and putting it into an actual file that we want to be able to then pull the information from. So doing an actual saving a position is very simple, and it's very similar to the thing that we did in the previous video, if not even simpler. We'll start off by adding our public variable to reference the player that we're going to be keeping information on. So we'll write public and game object with 2 capitals, and then we'll have this as player with a semicolon. Then in here we'll say, inside our save function, we'll say es2.save, very similarly to how we did it before. Then we'll open up our brackets and say player.transform.position, and then we'll add a comma, and in quotes we can write whatever we want. So we can write player position, just like that, and have a semicolon on the end. And that will just create a player position file, and it will save the transform position of the player, so the X and Y and Z position of the player itself. And so I will show you in this as an example. If we right click in the scene, we go to EasySave 2, Settings, Tools, and we go to the open up the default save. You can see that there's nothing there currently. We've got the ammo, broken armor, magazines. Now if we press play and we drop down into the scene, you can see that we've got everything. We can press save and we'll have an error. So we'll say that it's not found the associated player that we were looking for. So on our save button, here, we'll need to add our player. So we'll just drag in our FPS controller and we'll drag that in, and everything should be fine there. And once that's done is when we press play again, we can go up to save. There shouldn't be an error. We can check that and go to EasySave 2, Settings, Tools, open up the default folder, and you'll see player position. Now you think, well, how do I go about loading this? So it's very similar to how we did it before with the loading. So the saving is just using the EasySave2.save, that we're saving the player.transform.position and then putting it into a file. In loading, it's extremely similar. What we'll do again is we'll create another public game object and have this as type player, and then inside the public void for the load we'll say player.transform.position equals es2.load, and then in angled brackets we can write vector3, and in brackets then in quotes we can call or name the file that we just created. So we'll call this player position with a semicolon. So like we did before, is that we're saying we're going to be giving, so whatever the player dot transform position, so the X, Y, Z values are going to be equal to whatever vector3 we're going to find from the player position, and the vector3 is just the 3D vector that we can find, or the position in Unity that we can find to put straight back into the transform position. And that's what you use a vector3 to do transforms and things like that in 3D space. So this should realistically work for us. So what we need to do is we'll minimize that, go to our load button. You'll wait a second for it to appear. Then what we're going to do is going to add our first person controller. What we do is, the whole point of me doing these multicolored squares is so that we can see where we've actually moved to. So we've started on the black square. I'll run over to the yellow square over here, and we can say that we'll press save, and no errors appeared. We can unplay the game. We can press play again, and we'll drop in. And then what we can do is we can press load, and you'll notice that we appeared over on the yellow square, or the yellow plane, whatever you want to look at it, with whatever variables we might have already needed to load from the previous script. But seeing as though we ended up having nothing in the manager when we ran the game again, and we just saved out 0, it's put us in the position that we wanted. So I'll do another example so you know that I am not making this up. I'm on the red one, press save, and I can run over. If the game's running and we choose to be able to load on the fly, we can press load, and you can see that we moved all the way over to the red plane. So that's all well and good. That's nice, isn't it? So that works perfectly. So say we want to do it as soon as the game loads, for instance. So as soon as the game starts, we can just write void start, and then 2 brackets, 2 curly brackets below, and then we can just literally call the load void function, and it will load that as soon as so what we do, we expect we'll start on this black square like we always do, but we actually won't, because as soon as the game starts, it will spawn us at the red square where we just previously saved it. So we can spawn in, and you'll notice that I'm now at the red square. So if I show this, I'll now save the game at the yellow. Now it's saved, close that off, play again, now I'm at the yellow. And if you say you were saving a lot of different variables, outcomes, whatever, you could do a fade in to the scene, so you make sure that the player doesn't realise that we just moved you off to another part of wherever you started from. So that's just an extremely simple way of loading the player's position and then loading it back in. And that's just using the player's position, player.transform position, loading it and saving it accordingly to how we need it, and then we can save it and load it directly when we start the scene or whenever we choose to load. So this is it for just saving the position. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.